Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be making a new what if. Y'all should let me know if y'all want this what if to continue. But this what if is not going to be like my other ones. This is going to be what if Naruto was experimented on. Now, I'm going to do this completely different to how other people did it. But, you should watch theirs and watch mine. That I'm gonna risk getting my shit taken down because somebody else made it. Anyway, so we're gonna start this off when Naruto's born. So when Naruto is born, everything still goes to canon, his people die, but I'm gonna say Lord Third didn't care for Naruto. Like, he cared for Naruto enough in canon to actually make sure he didn't fall into the hands of Danzo, but not in this one. So Danzo kind of adopted Naruto and he abused Naruto, basically told Naruto the only thing that made him great was the Nine Tails and, being half Uzumaki. Now, Naruto is a prodigy, but Naruto's self-esteem in this what if, self-esteem, talking to people, all of that shattered. This man's only goal is to complete missions, and that's it. Now, let's get to the beginning of the anime. And to be completely honest, nobody really knew that Naruto existed because of the fact that he got taken from Danzo, so Danzo never needed to start that rumor. So everybody just think the Nine Tails is in someone else just wandering around the village. Or they killed the Nine Tails. So, start of the anime. Everybody's headed to class. But I'm going to say, since it's Naruto's first time actually walking to the school, everybody's wondering, where is this kid coming from? And I'm going to say he bumped into Ino. And Ino basically asks him, do you have any parents or family? And Naruto just walks right past him, doesn't make any, eye contact, nothing. This Naruto is not, outbeat and outgoing. He still has that dream of becoming Hokage, but it's not he's not just outbeat and outgoing. This Naruto's self-esteem, his pride, all that's been broken by Danzo. And the only reason why he's able to go to school is because Hiruzen pulled him out of there before he was able to go on high-ranking special ops missions and shit. That way he didn't die. So, yeah. Hiruzen talked to Naruto, told Naruto, I'm finna give you a house and stuff like that so you can, live out on your own. And Naruto doesn't really talk a lot. So nobody's ever really going to understand or know why Naruto acts the way he acts. Well, some people are, most people aren't. So Naruto, I'm going to say Naruto walks into the classroom and sits down. He sits in the seat that's right where Sasuke is sitting. Because Naruto didn't sit next to Sasuke because, Danzo or anything like that. He sat next to Sasuke because he knew that Sasuke wasn't going to ask him any questions because of the way that Sasuke looked. And he already heard about the Uchiha massacre. So, yeah. And Naruto does have a whole lot of, cuts, bruises, scratches, stuff that's not going to heal. And I'm going to say, Sasuke look over and there's, a little part in Naruto's, little orange jacket that he wears that you can stare directly down if he leans his head forward too much. And I'm going to say Naruto leaned his head forward to see if somebody was going to walk into the classroom because somebody was sitting outside. And Sasuke just happened to glance over and seen this big old gash on the back of Naruto. And Sasuke, asks him, yo, you good? And Naruto look at him and just look away. And then, Sasuke, Sasuke scoffs, he's just some random kid. But then, Sasuke thinks about it, no random kid should have that deep a gash on his back. like leading down his neck to his back. So, he keeps pressing Naruto. And then he looks at Naruto, and not gonna lie, this version of Naruto, the only thing that Naruto does not feel remorse for is when he's fighting. So unless he know his training, if y'all just fighting the fight, he's gonna try to kill you. Naruto is a pussy when it comes to everything else, when it comes to talking to people. Like, besides like cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, anything that includes social interaction, Naruto can break down and just randomly cry. He's basically pulling a Deku. But anyway, I shouldn't have said that. I low-key mess with my hero. Alright, let me stop joking. But, like, he looks at Naruto and sees that Naruto's starting to, like, cry a little bit. So he kind of, like, he pushes off. Then Sakura walks in there and he tells, like, she walks up to Naruto and was like, "Can I sit here?" And Naruto gets up and goes and sits by Hinata. Now, Hinata doesn't know who Naruto is, and she really doesn't care. Well, she does because she noticed that he was just crying. So she asks him, "Is he okay?" And honestly, Naruto looks up and looks at her. He sees that her eyes are kind of genuine and kind. So he kind of tears up a little more. And right before the class starts, Naruto gets up and dips out the class. And I want to say Sakura sat next to Sasuke and made a joke about Naruto. Like, kid's first day in the village and he's already crying. And Sasuke kind of looked at her and was like, Like, he didn't say nothing to her, he just shook his head. And they're like, I'm gonna say that day ended. And the entire time, I'm gonna say Sasuke and Hinata was looking for Naruto, because Sasuke wanted to know what, like, all those scars and stuff was about, and Hinata just wanted to see if he was okay. But since Naruto's literally been trained by all different types of Anbu members, he's been trained by sensory, like, healing. This man's is literally the all-around GOAT right now. But Hiruzen told him not to use his full strength because he's still going to get put on the squad because he doesn't, anyway. So, Naruto basically, like, he gets back to his house, and I'm going to say Hinata uses her Byakugan to try to see if she can find Naruto, and she does, and I'm going to say, like, she tells Sasuke and them to go to find Naruto, and they end up at Naruto's house. And when they knock on the door, Sasuke is like, "Yo, I know you in there. Like, are you good?" And Naruto basically tells him to go away. And I'm gonna say, like, there's certain words that you can say to Naruto that'll, like, trigger his fighting. Like, just, there's certain noises and words that you can say toward Naruto that'll kind of, like, make him go into, like, his little weird fighting thing. Like, Naruto is traumatized. So, like, anything that's loud enough to sound like it's a ninja tool or somebody telling him keywords, he'll, like, just turn on attack mode and just start randomly trying to kill people. But I'm gonna say it was like a passerby and yelled something like about a kunai, and Naruto, like, jumps up, because, like, Naruto can activate the Kyuubi's chakra on a whim, and he's able to control up to, I'm gonna say, the 3 tails. So when, like, every time he fight, he activates it. So yeah, just to get that huge ass amp that it gives you. But yeah, so, like, they say it, Naruto grabs a kunai and breaks down his, like, not breaks down his door, but, like, he opens the door and grabs a kunai and he puts it to Sasuke's throat, and Sasuke is like, "What's going on? Like, wait a minute, hold on. You ain't never just, I'm trying to see if you're good." And, like, a couple of minutes pass of pure quiet, and Naruto look over at Hinata, and Hinata's kind of scared. And Naruto look back up at Sasuke, and Sasuke kind of gritting his teeth, like, "Man, listen, oh, fuck you." Like, yeah, like, he getting a little mad. So Naruto, like, throw the kunai into the room, like, into his apartment, shut the door and just tell him to leave him alone. And they leave. And Sasuke tell Hinata like, yo, can't your Byakugan kind of see through walls? And she was like, yeah, that's how we kind of sense. It's how, like, she was like, Sasuke was like, okay, bet. Use your Byakugan to see what Naruto's doing right now. Or to see what he's doing right now. And she uses it, and she's like, oh, he's just crying. And at this point in time, Kurama would mess with Naruto, because, like, Naruto was vulnerable enough to get taken by the Nine Tails. But at this point in time, the Nine Tails is taking pity on Naruto. Like, that's how bad Naruto is damaged. Like, mentally damaged. Naruto is not it. So, the next day come, and Naruto's back in class with everybody else. And now everybody's kind of looking at him, and he don't like that type of attention. Like, Naruto don't like any type of attention. So I'm going to say Iruka calls Naruto to the front of the class, and he's like, you didn't necessarily get to introduce yourself to the whole class yesterday. And he was like, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. But he says it low, but I'm going to say, like, Iruka just writes it on the board and tells Naruto to go sit back down. And on the way to him going to sit back down, I'm going to say Kiba tells Naruto, like, weren't you the kid that ran out of here crying the other day? And Sasuke looks at him, and it was like, Sasuke looks at Kiba and tells Kiba, like, oi, mate, fuck off. Like, let the man sit down. Like, quit being a little pussy. Probably fuck you up in the fight. And anyway, so lunch come, and Naruto usually stays in the classroom to eat by himself, but he notices that Hinata and Sasuke have not moved. Like, they was waiting on Naruto to move. So Naruto gets up, and he, like, starts walking out the classroom. And they get up and start walking out the classroom. Now, Sasuke just want to know what those scratches are for. Hinata genuinely wants to see if he's okay. Sasuke's debating on shit like he fucking care or not. That's basically what he's debating on. But, yeah. So, Sasuke gets over. I'm going to say Sasuke jumps in front of him. And, like, the minute that Sasuke lands in front of him, Naruto just uses the, I forgot what it's called. I don't know, that little technique where they disappear. Yeah, that technique where they disappear and, like, can appear in a different location. Yeah, not the flying Raijin. I'm talking about the one where you just jump really. Fuck, I'm gonna just say use the flying Raijin. I don't really care. But yeah, like, he basically just uses a jutsu to, get out the way. Like, basically to stop them from trying to talk to him. And they're like, what's going on with Naruto? And Hinata kind of gives up and goes back, like, to go eat with some friends of hers. And Sasuke kind of goes eat by himself. Now this has Sakura interested. And Sakura spies on Naruto for a little bit. And Naruto kind of, I'm going to say, he goes to, like, the back of the school. Because there's one gash on his, like, the bottom right side of his, like, rib that just got put there right before he got pulled out of Danzo's, Anbu Blackouts, like, unit. And he has to kind of rub something on it to kind of keep it from getting infected. So that's where he was going. And I'm going to say Sakura sees this, and Sakura was like, what the fuck? Like, what? And she kind of, like, I'm going to say she trips out and hits the floor. And Naruto looks over, puts a jacket on, and just dips. Like, kind of puts a jacket over his body and dips. And I'm going to say, like sees Naruto running and sees Sakura chasing behind him, but obviously Naruto's faster, so like to Ino it was a blur. Like all she saw was some hair and Sakura. And Sakura basically tell Ino, we gotta find him, he's hurt. And they don't like each other, but Ino is kinda interested in where Naruto came from anyway, so she's down. She go get Shikamaru go get Choji get the rest of them. Even Kiba's there. So now Sasuke's been searching for Naruto on his own with Hinata. And this is how Hinata and Sasuke become very nice friends. Just friends, shut the fuck up. Anyway, so they meet up. Like, they run into Sasuke and Hinata. And I'm gonna say, Shikamaru... No, I'm gonna say Choji. Choji make a quip about how it look like they go... Like, how they're dating. And Sasuke look at Hinata and just starts dying. And Hinata was like, no. Just no. And no, Hinata isn't that... She's shy, but she's not as shy as she was in canon. Like, she can talk perfectly fine. She just doesn't like talking to certain people. And I'm gonna say they go back to Naruto's house. And this lunch break is extremely long. So, like, they knock on Naruto's door. Naruto tells him to go away, and Sasuke was like, I'm not going through this again. Somebody bust down this nigga door. And, like, I'm gonna say Choji, before Choji can, like, punch the door down, Naruto kind of opens it and just dips. And, like, what's going on with this kid? And he uses the, I'm gonna say he attaches a string to the door to close it. So when he jumps off the, like, I'm gonna say he jumps onto Kiba's head. Like, he uses Choji's fist. He jumps on Choji's fist, jumps onto Kiba's head, then jumps off the balcony. And as he attached the string to the door to pull the door shut as he's jumping off the balcony. And it was already locked, so that was, yeah. So, Sasuke was like, oh shit, he's going back to the school. The bell finna ring in a couple of minutes. So everybody start running back to the school. And when they get there, Naruto's sitting there. But this time, Naruto's not even trying to look them in the eyes. He's sitting like he's just nowhere to be. What's the name? So Kiba pulls Sakura to the side and asks Sakura why, whereas he hurt, he doesn't look hurt. And she's like, under his jacket, there's like a big gash on the side of his rib and stuff. And Kiba was like, nah, I doubt it. So everybody going to sit down. All right, Kiba plotting on Naruto right now. Now we gonna fast forward to when the teams and stuff get made. So as they're calling out the teams, Kiba think now because Naruto is comfortable and everybody just learned to not kind of like forget that he was there, but like just to forget how quiet and stuff he was and how always like depressed he looked. But like when the teams and stuff was getting called, I'm gonna say Kiba walked up behind Naruto and used the kunai to cut his jacket and pulled it off of him. And some of y'all might be like, why did Naruto just stop him? He was a part of the Yanbu. But I don't care. No, Kiba just walked up to him. He didn't move fast. Kiba's not getting no fucking buffs. I do not mess with Kiba. Anyway, so Naruto Like Kiba was like, oh my, like Kiba screams like, what the fuck? Like he basically screams, what the fuck? And everybody look back there and they see Naruto, like the scratches and bruises and shit that he got on him. And Naruto just sits there, like he doesn't move or anything like that. Like he doesn't move or anything like that. He just sits there. And I'm gonna say, no, this was before the graduation exam. This is like when it was doing the Shadow Clone Jutsu shit. So he was just sitting there, and because he couldn't leave the classroom because the exam was finna start. And I forgot that dude's name. Their instructor, yeah, I forgot his name. Their instructor tells Naruto, like, he walks up to Naruto and puts his vest, because I'm gonna say Hiruzen told dude what Danzo put him through, or what Danzo might have put him through. So he kind of walks up to Naruto, kind of like holding, cause like the bruises and gashes on Naruto cut deep and they look terrible. So he takes off his vest and he puts it on Naruto, and he looks at two people that Naruto has been around with over like the past couple of months, which is Hinata and Sasuke. So he basically tells them to take Naruto, like just to take him out the school, and like they'll be excused for the exam for right now. Like just take Naruto home basically. And when they get out when they leave the school, I'm gonna say the kids and like everybody looking out the window, cause like they just baffled, and Sakura was just dumbfounded. Like, what kid? Basically, everybody else is wondering like who puts their kid through that, and everybody look at Kiba, and Kiba was like, "What? Everybody else was wondering what was underneath his jacket. I just helped y'all out." And dude basically the instructor tells Kiba to go talk to to basically go talk to the principal, and they tell the principal what happened. Like he tells the principal what happened, and the principal tells him to go talk to third. And this is like Kiba's finna them to get put in jail basically. Not in jail, but like he's getting expelled from the academy. So he gets expelled. Kiba gets expelled from the academy, and he doesn't get expelled from the academy. Like, basically, I don't know how to put it. He gets suspended. Like, he can't take the entrance exam this time, basically. Not the entrance exam, the exam to become a Genin. So as they're walking out, I'm gonna say Sakura was like, that's way better than what we thought it was. And like basically the whole like exam itself got postponed because that's the only thing anybody was able to think about. And I'm gonna say when like Sasuke and Sakura was walking, like, no, not Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke and Hinata was walking Naruto back to his house, and Sasuke look over at Hinata and see her tearing up, and Sasuke was like, "Man, listen, if a whole clan didn't die, I'd cry with her, man." Like, yeah, so they get Naruto back to his house. And this is the first time they've been in Naruto's house, and they see how neat it is and shit like that. So they ask him, like, "Yo, who lives here with you? Cause Sasuke thinking it's a family matter. Like this happened to his like someone in this house is beating on him. And Naruto's like nobody. And Sasuke was like, so how did you get these scars? And Naruto responds with, I don't know. And Naruto starts tearing up, and Sasuke sees this, and he asks him again, like, who gave you these scars? And Naruto was like, I don't know. And then I'm gonna say Hinata kind of leaves. Like, she starts crying and runs out. And Sasuke, like, after that, Sasuke and Naruto kind of just sit there in silence for, like, a good hour or two. And then Naruto just gets up like clockwork and just starts making his dinner. But since Sasuke is there, he makes enough for two people. But then I'm gonna say Hinata comes back with like, I'm gonna say half of everybody that knew of Naruto's existence at the time, which means their instructor, their joining instructor, like the person that's in their class, the teacher, the whole class that Naruto was in, and I'm gonna say the dude from the ramen shop and stuff, like they all came. But Naruto only let one of them inside the house, which was Hinata, and just basically told everyone else they could leave. And Sakura was like, but you're hurt. I brought stuff to help them heal. And Naruto kind of like grabs his arm, and I'm gonna say he pulls her like in, and when he grabs her, I'm gonna say like she notices that Naruto is strong as fuck. Naruto got pumped with a lot of enhancement drugs, so he pulls her in and it shuts the door, and everyone else is just sitting outside. And Shikamaru was like, "This is such a drag. We just want to know what's going on." And I'm gonna say was like, maybe it's best we don't know for now. And I'm gonna say they look down and they see Kiba walking past, and Kiba look up and see they're all standing there. So they're like, whose house is that? He was like, whose house is that? But basically, he was just blaming everything on Naruto. Like, it was his fault he couldn't take the exam. He got suspended for like a week or two, so dude's not finna be in there. I just had to pop my neck. So back in the house, I'm gonna say like everybody eat. Naruto make enough for just the four of them. Naruto eat, and I'm gonna say a couple of men, like 30 minutes pass after they eat, of just pure silence. Like it was always silent, but this silence was eerie because Naruto knew that in order for Sakura to use the stuff that she needs, like the stuff to make some of the scars go away, because some of them are deep, but some of them are deep and like aren't that deep to where they can, kind of get healed up with some, special healing stuff. And I'm going to say the third gave it to her because Sakura is going to be a Kunoichi. So, yeah. So she basically tells Naruto, you gotta kind of take off your jacket. And Naruto looks at her and looks down. And Sasuke was like, bro, what happened to you? And he was like, And why don't you have these scars? And Naruto was like, training. I was training. And Sasuke was like, with who? Naruto was like, I don't know. It was dark. I could only sense their chakra and nothing else. And Sasuke was like, what? So let me give y'all some background. In the room that Naruto was in, it was always dark. The only time it wasn't dark was when the sunlight was peering in, and when it was time for Naruto to train, which is almost all the time, the room would be pitch black, and the only thing that Naruto would be able to do was bounce his chakra off things to see if he can find people or sense their chakra. But most of the time it was just Naruto getting cut, stabbed, shit like that. So, yeah. So Naruto kind of like take off the jacket, and Naruto was like, you asked me earlier, where are my parents? And Sasuke looks at him and was like, yeah, man, where your parents at? And Naruto was like, you remember the Nine Tails attack? And he was like, yeah, I was born on that. Like, I think I was born on that day. And Naruto was like, I was too. My father and my mother died to the Nine Tails. My father was the fourth Hokage. My mother was Kushina. They died saving the village. But they had to seal the Nine Tails inside of me. So the thing that killed my parents, the thing that the village hates the most, lives inside my body. And I'm going to say when Sasuke hears that, now given, I think Sasuke already unlocked his Sharingan. Did he? No, I think he would have used it against that one in that one fight. But I'm going to say Sasuke, like, gets emotional enough to the point where he unlocked his first Tomoe Sharingan. And as Sakura's applying, like, the stuff to Naruto's back and, like, arms, she starts crying here in the story. And Hinata's just dumb. Like, Hinata was crying from the get-go. Because this is not a funny story. I'm trying so hard not to laugh. It's just my personality. I'm so sorry. But Hinata was, like, basically almost crying from the get-go. But hearing Naruto's story literally brought her to tears. Like, you can feel actual fucking cups with her tears. Like, that's how bad she's crying right now. And Sasuke was like, but that doesn't answer how you got these scars. Naruto was like, it was dark. And that's the only thing I could remember, the darkness. And Sasuke basically was like, so what was going on? Like, the Hokage didn't find you? He was like, he did, but it was a little too late for that. And Sasuke basically makes a vow to find the people that did this to Naruto and to kill Itachi. Because he thinks if Itachi could do that, what's stopping Itachi from, doing this to Naruto? So he also thinks that it was Itachi that did that to Naruto. Because, he did just slaughter a whole clan and Naruto looks like easy pickings, so... yeah. But Sakura basically tells Naruto that she's done and that most of these should disappear, and only the deep one that, goes from your neck down to your back should be the only one visible. And Naruto kind of like throws him off the topic and was like, Hinata, if you train with Sasuke, because he just unlocked his Sharingan, you can both of you guys can get considerably stronger. And Sakura, I can kind of teach you some things if you want me to. And he keeps going like with the ninja talk, but I'm gonna say Sasuke kind of tells him to shut up and like we're not finna blow past this fact, like what's going on with you. And Naruto's like it doesn't matter anymore. What's done is done. I can't change the past. Neither can you. And Sasuke was like, wait a minute, bro. How am I supposed to be the dark and gloomy one and this nigga's backstory is literal fucking darkness? like, fam, how am I supposed to feel about this? Like, I don't understand. How? This is not a funny story. Why the fuck am I like, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. But, so, like, I'm gonna say they lost track of time. I'm gonna say Natsu's gonna leave Naruto's house to go back home. And Naruto's like, there's no point in leaving. It's already too late outside. You're gonna get lost. Well, you're not gonna get lost, but it's a possibility you can be kidnapped because you are the princess of the Hyuga clan. And she was like, oh, and think of that. And Sasuke was gonna leave, and Sasuke was like, you don't have to leave neither. You're the last remaining Uchiha as far as we're aware of. You shouldn't go anywhere. And before Naruto left, like before Danzo, like before Hiruzen took Naruto away from Danzo implanted a Sharingan, like, cause Naruto was experimenting on to the point where he can get a Sharingan implanted into his eye, and it'll deactivate and only activate when Naruto's in deep peril or, you know, his emotions get to a certain point. So basically, it's just like an Uchiha's. So Naruto's eye hasn't activated yet. And yes, this eye is genetically engineered. Leave me the fuck alone. It's not someone else's eye. It's Naruto's eye. Anyway. And, like, Naruto's like, I got enough stuff for y'all to sleep over. And Naruto basically, like, pulls out, I'm gonna say 2 cots, like, 2, like, little sleeping bag things, and his bed. And Naruto takes one of the cots and tells Sakura and Hinata, like, y'all can sleep in the bed. And him and Sasuke can sleep on the floor. And no one's objective to it, but, like, nobody, like, they feel bad for making Naruto sleep on the floor after the shit that they just heard. And, like, it's so bad to the point where Naruto sleeps, but to him, like, he doesn't have sleep. Like, he sleeps and he gets energy from it, but to everybody else, his sleeps are restless. He sweats a lot in his sleep. Sometimes he screams in his sleep. He cries in his sleep. It looks like he's fighting in his sleep. Sometimes it looks like he's just stopped breathing altogether. And they all like, this is all happening within the time right before they go to sleep, because they're like basically still in shock of Naruto's story. And Sakura just has like a whole different worldview. Like, her worldview isn't even bent isn't even bent on Sasuke right now. And Sasuke's worldview isn't even bent on Itachi. Sasuke and Sakura's worldviews are built on Naruto right now. Like, they're fixated on trying to help Naruto get better. And, like, the next day come and they all went to sleep, like, I'm gonna say like 40, maybe 30 minutes after Naruto. And the next day come, and Naruto, they wake up and they smell food. So, they get up. Like, they smell food and they get up, and Naruto's made breakfast and everything like that. And Sakura tells Naruto, like, I just applied that stuff. You shouldn't necessarily be moving around like that. And they look at Naruto, like, back, and the only scar that they really see is the big one going down his back. Everything else is healed. And Sasuke was like, the healing powers of the Nine Tails. And they just roll with it. So, at this point in time, Naruto doesn't, like, that's the only thing that they know, is that Naruto has the Nine Tails. His parents are dead. His dad was a fourth Hokage. His parents are dead. They don't know nothing about, like, what. He basically told them the general consensus, but he didn't tell them everything of what he's been through. So, also, I'm gonna say Sai. Sai was Naruto's best friend in, when Naruto was asleep, Naruto mentioned, like, Naruto screams out, Sai, no. And Sasuke looks like, as they're eating, Sasuke looks up at Naruto and asks Naruto, who's Sai? Now let me give y'all background information. Sai was Naruto's best friend when he was in Yanbu. Sai was already fully trained and things like that by the time Naruto joined, like, was actually able to keep up with things in Yanbu. So Sai was also one of the people that Danzo sent in there to beat on Naruto until Naruto got the gist of what was going on. But it was one day, I'm gonna say, Naruto woke up and chose violence and activated the Nine Tails chakra for the first time. Now, since he was unable to control it, when Sai got in there and started doing what, Danzo told him to, Naruto killed Sai. Now, I did say that Naruto's room was complete darkness most of the time, but during that other time, in order for Naruto to kind of, like, stay sane somehow, Danzo let Sai in, and Naruto and Sai played a lot, like, with Sai's art and stuff. But yeah, that kind of screwed Naruto over in the head. So yeah, dude's done. And Naruto kind of just stops eating, and damn near, like, he just breaks down, and, like, he basically gets PTSD and remembering what happened. And, like, hold on. Alright. So, Sakura, I'm gonna say Hinata grabs Naruto, like, basically taps Naruto before Naruto had a full-blown out panic attack. He told him that he was like, it was okay. You can tell us later. And Naruto, I'm gonna say, takes a couple of deep breaths, and Sasuke was like, in his head, he was like, what the fuck happened to him? Like, I thought I had it rough. This man has obviously been through the ringer. Like, fuck. Anyway, so Danzo does not, like, now he puts out the rumor that Naruto is the Nine Tails. So now that all happened within the span of one night. So, like, they leave the building, and a couple of villagers start staring at Naruto. And Naruto, at this point, he doesn't wear that jacket anymore because dude cut it open, or Kiba cut it open, so he kind of wears like a hood, like kind of like a hoodie. And like he kind of knitted himself a hoodie. Like, Naruto is very resourceful, so he kind of, like, made himself a hoodie overnight. Like, during the morning when he was making everybody's breakfast, he was making himself a hoodie. That way he didn't have to yeah. So everybody just kind of giving Naruto that look, like a weird look and like a scared look at the same time. And they get to the school and they take the exam. And like everybody is concerned about Naruto, and now that they like know that Naruto's a Nine Tails, or they heard a rumor, but they don't really want to go off that because Naruto doesn't look like the person that can be the Nine Tails. So Sasuke like thinks about it, like maybe they looking at him because of the hoodie. So Sasuke taps Naruto and was like, yo, when you get back to your house, you should make a group design. And Naruto like, a group design? He was like, yeah, put the Uzumaki symbol, like infuse the Uzumaki symbol, the Uchiha symbol, the Hyuga symbol, whatever the fuck clan Sakura is symbol into one and put it on the back of the hoodie. Then make one for all of us. And Naruto's like, okay, I guess. So Naruto the entire time, like before he got called, he was like drawing out the design and stuff. So he basically makes a shadow clone. Yeah, he passes. Here comes a Genin. Kiba, I'm gonna say Kiba came back early. Because I'm gonna say Kiba's mom or whatever, you know, went to go talk to Lord Third about how Kiba was just being a kid and kids shouldn't be held responsible like for their actions right now. And the third, I'm gonna say, was like, alright, he got one more chance, or, you know, I'm gonna have to get him out of there. And Kiba basically tells, like, he passes too, but, like, when they get their headbands, Naruto kind of stitches his headband to the side of his jacket. Well, like, no. Yeah, to, like, the side part of his jacket. Like, on the arm. And Shikamaru, I'm gonna say, walks over there and was like, yo, Naruto, did you make that jacket? And Naruto was like, yeah, why? He was like, oh, because I heard you and Sasuke talking about making one earlier. And Sasuke was like, yeah, it's just for us. You gotta back off. And Shikamaru looks at Sasuke and was like, I was talking to Naruto. And Naruto kind of looks away, like he doesn't care. And like, yeah. And Sakura was like, whoa, we don't need to get all big and bad. Like, we don't need to, I need to fight. And Sasuke was like, anybody that comes next to Naruto that isn't one of us three, like, y'all don't, he was basically like, y'all don't deserve to be in Naruto's presence and shit like that. Like, he was basically treating Naruto like a baby brother that he needed to defend with, like, his entire existence type shit. So, yeah. And later on that day, they go back to Naruto's house. And Naruto's in the middle of knitting, like, making Sakura's jacket, which is the last jacket. And they get a knock on the door from the Hyuga clan elder. Like, they get a knock on the door from Hinata's escort, talking about how she gotta go back. Like, you know, her father wants to see her. And he sees that now, like, they all got all, like, Naruto just finished Sakura's jacket as Hinata went to go open the door. and she just put it on. So like as the escort looks over, like looks at Hinata and looks back and see that they all wearing the same jacket, and the escort notices that that's Naruto, like the quote unquote nine-tailed fox, and hold on. He basically starts laughing and was like, the fox think that he's equal to Hinata. That's hilarious. And he starts laughing. And Sasuke looks over there and just without hesitation just leaps, like basically just full blown attacks this man. Sharingan activated and everything. Just full blown attacks this man. And Naruto, basically, in the lowest tone possible, tells him, like, there's no need to. Like, basically just tells Sasuke to stop. And Sasuke was like, oh, no, bro. You gotta die. He done made fun of you. He gotta pay with his blood. And Naruto was like, it's not necessary. And Sakura was like, oh, no, it's necessary. He gotta die, don't he? Hinata, don't you agree? And Hinata was like, oh yeah, he gotta go. And Naruto was like, no, it's fine. So Sasuke looked at Naruto and was like, yeah, you say that now. And they get up and like he gets off of him and he basically, when Sasuke get out of he get up and runs back to the Hyuga compound without Hinata. And they go out into like the field and start training. And it's been like a week or two. And they have not left the woods because Naruto is a survivalist. In like a week. So they basically just been considered missing. And they enter the village and everyone's like, oh, there they are. And they're immediately greeted by Hiruzen wasn't really tripping because, you know, he got that little weird glass ball. And he has like a specific set of Anbu that looks after Naruto. That's like directly under him. But yeah. So yeah. They were like the fox kidnapped him, like stuff like that. But everybody kind of noticed that Naruto, like when they call Naruto the fox and stuff like that. No, I'm gonna say word kind of got around about the scars on Naruto. So like everybody knew, like even if he was the quote unquote nine tails, they're not even worried about that. They're more or less worried about this kid's well-being. So the whispers aren't about like the nine tails and stuff like that. The whispers are about like the scars and who did it to him, and whoever did it to him was wrong and deserves to be put to death. So, what time is it? Damn, it's 4. They get greeted by Neji and a couple of other Hyugas. And in this time, Hinata has become a god. An absolute fucking god with a Byakugan. A god. Sakura has become a fucking god when it comes to healing and using the chakra scalpel to kill people. She is a stealth god. Sasuke and Naruto are absolute fucking gods at everything. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna be ending this part off. I'm a little tired. This what if will continue depending on like what the response is and stuff like that. Just let me know if y'all want this one to continue.